Hello everybody, welcome to this video. It's going to be quite an interesting one because I am actually watching the World Cup as we speak. But I pretty much want to detach because I got quite a bit of money on the game. So I was like, let me brainstorm some ideas and get an actual video out. So it's going to be a very high value video. It's going to be very raw, very authentic, quite boring, but boring is really what moves the needle. We know this, guys. So I actually brainstormed a few ideas on, all of the manifestation work. I've been in info for around 3 years. I've built and scaled a company. I've built and scaled many companies as well. And from all of the things that I've learned, being in the manifestation space, being very deep into like the quantum physics space, the spiritual space, these are all the topics and things that usually take people like 5 to 10 years to fully understand and come to reason with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down every concept, okay, very raw. It's going to be a very chill breakdown of just what my thoughts are. It's going to be a bit of a rant. But hopefully you can actually take these things and implement it, okay? Because I actually had to learn these things the hard way. But it's going to benefit you, I guarantee it, okay? So the first concept is building trust with your subconscious, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they say they're going to do something and they don't actually follow through with it, you don't understand how detrimental that is to your manifestation powers, to your growth as a business owner. When you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're actually breaking that trust that you have with your subconscious. The trust you have with your ego actually starts to break down and deteriorate. Okay? Now, your subconscious, okay, the only thing in this world which is wired to the data within space, okay, that connects you to the universe, why would it manifest anything for you when you don't even trust yourself? Okay, let me just actually check the battery. 7%. Should be fine. Like your brain, your subconscious literally sees you as a coward, right? You don't follow through with the actual things you say you will. And so why should it manifest anything for you? Right? You don't trust yourself. And so this is one very key thing that people don't understand, especially in the younger years. But you need to follow through with everything that you say you will, and it's those little defeats that really compound that you actually don't see, that destroy your manifestation powers down the line. And so I'm gonna get quite a bit of hate for this by saying this, but you'll really understand what I mean. Whenever someone comes up to me and they say they're gonna do something, whether it's steroids, whether it's this or that, I don't necessarily encourage it, but I don't tell them not to do it, right? Because these guys have set an intention, they've told themselves they're going to do something, okay? And blocking that off is more dangerous than you could possibly imagine, especially before you get into your adulthood or your adult stages, from like 17 to 23. Those foundational years will really set the standard for how you approach your adulthood, for how you manifest and materialize things down the line. And so you need to make sure whenever you set an intention, whenever you say something, you follow through with it no matter what. Because once your subconscious actually, the trust is just broken, it's going to be really hard to build it up down the line unless you just turn into David Goggins and do like the whole discipline thing for like 5 years. It's way too long, bro. I can't be asked for that. So just do the right things now. Okay? Do the right things now so you won't have the problem later on. I'm not saying don't be disciplined. It's very important. But like, if you want to do things the right way, right, and set the intention, make sure your energy is as pure as it's going to be, your energy will literally guide you towards the right path, right? It will manifest and materialize the things you want in the right way, and your energy will literally just flow to it, okay? That's the thing that we want. So the second thing is why the universe really likes specificity, and we're going to be talking about technical manifestation when we're talking about actually materializing, 100K months, 200K months, or whatever. I'm going to give you guys an actual story of something that happened, quite a bit of time ago. It's actually really funny. Now, my best friend, he does ecom, and he actually does really well for himself, like really well for himself. And obviously, like once you've sorted out the financial thing, your intention, your focus shifts elsewhere. So he was like, okay, yo, bro, genuinely, he was like, I want the baddest bitch ever. That's just what he said, right? Like his intention shifted to more women and finding a wife or whatever. And so what he did was he put like all of his his attention and his intention and focus onto obviously like finding a partner. And so he was like doing all the manifestation work, blah, 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 blah. He's putting energy into it. Now, What happened 2 weeks later is he got into an accident. He told me he was riding a bicycle, and he fell off the bicycle. His leg was just covered in blood. Like, I have the pictures, but obviously I can't show it because it's like very graphic. Things like against TOS. Um, and he literally looked up after he fell down, and he looked up and he saw like two of the baddest women he's ever seen in his entire life. I swear to God, right? Two of the baddest women, and one of the women there was exactly the type of woman that he was trying to obviously manifest, right? It was his ideal woman, his dream woman. Now, the key thing is, the moral of the story is, he manifested what he wanted, right? A lot of people don't notice this. He actually manifested and materialized the exact thing that he needed and wanted, just not in the way that he wanted it, right? So technically, he still manifested the woman, but obviously just not with him, you know? She's obviously just not his partner. And so this is why the universe really likes specificity, like very, very much. Like, it's the very big amount. The more specific you are, the better it's going to be. You need to make the picture as detailed as you possibly can within your reality. Otherwise, you won't be able to necessarily obtain it. Like, another example I'll give you is a lot of people, as soon as they get into like online business, they get into this train of like doing manifesto boards. And they're like, yo, bro, let me just like get a whiteboard and put like a Porsche 911 GT3 RS on there. And so like they're looking at this thing constantly, and they're visualizing, they're imagining this thing, but they don't even realize like every week they're manifesting it, right? When a Porsche drives by you, technically you've manifested it, okay? Like, the universe has given you what you wanted, just not in the way you want it. And so the fix for this, and I've actually made another video on it, but I'll just touch on it briefly, is you need to be super detailed within your visualization work, right? And your manifestation framing, right? When you have something you desire, it needs to be yours, and you need to picture the reality with you inside of it, and you need to make it as detailed as possible. You need to engage all your five senses. I'm talking you need to feel, touch, smell, taste. What was the last one here? I forgot. You know what the five senses are. But you need to do all those things. So, like, let's say, for example, you want a villa. You want your dream villa, dream house. You need to actually go into the shower and fucking have a shower. Within that house. This is all in your mind, right? Make it as detailed as possible. Open the fridge, drink some water, smell the air, go outside, go jump in the pool, go open the garage, go turn the car on. Like, you see, what's happening here is you're actually building patterns, right? With your consciousness present within the reality, right? And these patterns is what's going to build the bridge between your old frequency, so where you are right now, and the new one, right? And that bridge is actually the thing that you need to walk in order to get to here. And so that's why it's so important that when you're doing your manifestation work, you need to be extremely specific of what you want, how you want it, and with you being present in it, okay? And your energy needs to be extremely pure, okay? Let me just take a sip here. Okay. Your purpose for living, identity, and fuel. This is actually the most important thing in this entire video. I just used these two because it's like a good hook. I did it so spontaneously, so don't be mad at me. But if you are staying through until the end of the video anyways, you'll get all this source. So your purpose for living. This thing is so much more important than people actually realize. The reason being is you need to figure out your reason for existence. Okay? This is one of the most crucial things for any human being in terms of business, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a creative artist, whether you're a musician, whether you're a chef. You need to figure out what is the actual reason why you exist and why you are here on this planet, on this earth. Okay? What is the reason that you are in this game with Mother Nature and that you're present in this pendulum? Okay, as it says in Reality Transurfing. Okay, why do we exist within this energetic structure where we have to live day by day, perform, hunt, eat, survive, go through this cycle of survival? Like, what is the reason? Now, for a lot of people, especially in the early stages when they are growing up, their purpose is wired and conditioned to be just God. Now, I personally believe in God. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you really need to figure out what is the thing in this world that's going to make you feel fulfilled. Okay, now once you've actually understood where this fulfillment comes from, you need to reverse engineer it and go as deep as possible. The emotions behind it, why this would make you happy, why this is important, why that's important, why it's important for that to be important. You need to go as detailed as you possibly can and really understand your constitutions in terms of your body, in terms of your mind as well. So, obviously, I don't know how much you guys believe in astrology or a lot of the things that's out there when it comes to the spiritual space. But for example, I went to Mexico and I got my Mayan birth readings done. Okay, now the science is right. Like our body consists of carbon. Okay, now this carbon had to have come from somewhere, and where did it actually come from? It came from dying stars that existed billions and billions of years ago. Right? Like these stars existed billions of years ago. So the carbon from our body came from these places. And so this is like kind of why I dived into like the astrology stuff, because genuinely when you apply it the right way and when you actually understand this data the right way, it's going to be very, very useful. So I got my Mayan birth readings done in Mexico, got my astrology signs and figured out all of these things, figured out, my inherent nature. And what I did pretty much is I inputted everything into Claude, all of the data, all my readings, right? So me personally, I am the storm within my birth readings. And so what that means is I need to be present in the center where there is no noise. And usually I will get swept up by the actual storm, but I need to be present in the stillness, okay? And obviously there's a lot more that goes into it. But I pretty much plugged everything into Claude, and I pretty much gave Claude data on all of the things that I was doing in my life. So context over my company, context over business, my family, my relationships, my romantic relationships, how I was living, how I was waking up, the things I was eating and consuming, how much water I was drinking, how much exercise I was doing, how much sunlight I was like everything. I gave it all the data over my life, and usually, this is gonna take quite a while, but I just like whisper flowed it and took quite a bit of time, like quite a few sessions, until it got like pretty much all the context over my life. It told me I was living pretty much all of my life wrong, right? And so what the birth readings do, what the astrology signs do, is it tells you your constellations, right, of how you're supposed to be working, how you're supposed to be doing things for your specific body, for your specific vessel, right? So I fixed up all of those things, and really it just turned me into like it made me feel more conscious. It made me feel more human. So an example of like something I did from my Mayan birth readings that I had to really focus my attention on was getting swept up by noise. So like right now, for example, I am at home. I think I'm on 5%. I need to put my laptop on charge. Oh my god. Let me just pop this here. Give me a sec. Okay, so I moved here, so you can actually see the game. I'm choosing to ignore the game, but I can see my screen, so if someone scores, I'm gonna know. So don't be shocked if I actually react. But basically, one thing I implemented from my birth readings or the astrology signs, which actually changed a lot for me, was my emotional state. And so obviously, like, we live in a world which is so dopamine centered, where you're pretty much literally, how do you say this? Like, you're so used to easy release. You're so used to getting dopamine. You're so used to having your fucking receptors just being fried and just getting energy, attention just flowing, and everything being like very, 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 very easy, right? Everything's very, very convenient, right? We're not used to silence. This is one very, very crucial thing. And this is one thing I really noticed after coming here for like the first week and a half. When I was in London, everything was just loud. Everything was just so noisy. It's like time was moving in 2x speed. Excuse me. And so being in the silence, like I'm literally right now, I'm in an apartment, right? My apartment is next to mountains, bro. It's like on the outskirts of the city, and so there's no entertainment. There's nothing to do. There's like a gym there. There's like a restaurant downstairs. Um, there's a supermarket as well. Let me actually just. God damn it. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know why it just starts lagging, unfortunately. Quit. I'll just close as much things as I can. Sorry, guys. Okay. So there's like no entertainment here. And so you get so used to the silence, it's actually like really, really fucking suffocating. The silence. I'm not even kidding. It was very strange. And so being in that state for like such a long time where there's just nothing to do, I'm not really getting any texts because I just sort things out. Like everyone's living their own life. I'm the one with the most free time in like my entire friend groups, my entire family, because I actually, obviously I have freedom because obviously I run a company and do all these things. And it's like I'm the one who has the most free time. And being in that space where you have free time, your loved ones aren't interacting with you, nothing's really going on. You've done all the work you need to do. You've already eaten, so you're full. And so you can't really get a stimulus from actual food. And so you're not thirsty. And so, like, all of these things cut out, right? And you minimize it. There's nothing to stimulate you, it's just silence. There's nothing to do. And so being in that silent state, that's really the thing that I focused on, especially with my inherent trait, which is being the storm. I was so swept up by the actual storm in the typhoon that I forgot to realize that being in the center point, which is the calmness, right, is what I need to get used to. It's what I really need to balance my energy with. And so what it does is it literally like accustoms you and gets you conditioned to just dealing with stressful situations. And it's like being in that state, like the state I'm in right now, nothing's going on. Right? The fucking game, like obviously I had it on, but I don't actually care about it. I was like, let me record a video. Because it wasn't really that important. And so you get the idea. These things, and my point is, more of the story is, so I went on a bit of a yap session there. You need to find your inherent traits and figure out what really in your life or within your body your constitution is, and you need to apply it in real life. A lot of us are living very wrong in accordance to how we actually should be living, okay? So obviously there's more stuff on this. I'll make a separate video on this stuff, but that was just like mainly to touch up on it. Okay, the other thing is the rebound from dying. Now, there is a rebound you're going to go through as an entrepreneur where you pretty much will lose everything. Okay? You're going to lose everything. Now, the reason why I say this is because as an entrepreneur, everything is an identity game. Okay? I think I actually did another point, which is very, very similar to this. Yeah, it's right here, but I'll just touch up on it later as well. Let me just check that again. Yep. Whenever you have another goal or like another phase that you need to go through, there's always going to be a rebound. And what I mean by this is it's going to be you going up and then you're going to drop down, so you're going to die, right? And you could potentially lose everything here. But this zone, this fallback period, is where a lot of people actually quit, and they don't realize that the trend and continuation is substantially higher than your previous high, right? So it's a bit of like stock stuff, but just applies to real life. And so that rebound that you're going to get from dying, you're literally going to die. Like that's what it is. You're going to lose everything. This happens to all of us. So even me, like I ran another business, I did a growth op agency, and it completely lost it all in like this rebound phase. Cause like a lot of life stuff happened. I had to go take care of my parents. Like some really unfortunate events happened in my life. And so I literally had no time. And so I had to decide between family business or this thing, and then or taking care of my parents. I had to go back to London. And so there's like a lot of things I had to let go of in pursuit of just being with my family. And for me, is it a decision that I regret? No, because it's my parents, bro. That's my fucking mother. That's my father, you know? So it's very important stuff. But ultimately, it is what it is. And that's the rebound. Like, there's going to be a moment and period in time where you pretty much lose everything in pursuit of actually getting to the next phase in life. And this is something you need to understand, and everyone's going to go through it. Like, you're gonna lose everything. This is what everyone goes through. Like, Andrew Tate has gone through this, Kanye West specifically, and the reason why is because it goes a lot deeper into your incarnation purpose and your purpose as an individual. In order to truly get to where you need to be, you have to go to the pressure all the time. And usually what this means is, a lot of the time, is you're going to lose the things that you've built up in all of the years. But the rebound from losing everything to actually gaining things in the next level is going to be so significant. But you just need to have patience with it, okay? And you need to have so much conviction that you're actually going to get to that next phase that you're not even worried. And so you'll see a lot of people, the most famous people you'll know, idols even, they will lose everything in pursuit of something greater or a deeper messaging, right? Kanye West, right? He literally lost like pretty much all of the things he had built in pursuit of a greater purpose. Now, what that purpose is specifically, I don't know, because obviously I don't know him as a person. But you can see, like, everybody goes to the pressure, because that is where the crucial part is for your growth, okay? And if you can't handle that rebound, then this game is just not for you, because everyone has to go through it. I'm telling you, like, there isn't a specific way to actually handle it. I'm just telling you so you're actually aware of it. But when you're actually mentally prepared for it, it makes a big difference. So why you can't exceed your internal state? Okay, this is a very interesting one from the universe. Your internal state, you can never break equilibrium within the universe. It's just how it is. So I actually spoke about this example in another video as well. But let's say you're living in poverty and you win the lottery for $80 million. The universe is going to look at you. It's going to be like, okay, your internal state is right here. 80 million is right here. So your internal is here, your external is here. Okay? There is an imbalance. Now, you can never break equilibrium. It's just how it is. Okay? You can't break the state of balance. We are not powerful enough to do that. And it's just how the laws are within the universe. And so what's going to happen is one of two things that can happen. It's either your internal is going to elevate to match the 80 million, or the 80 million is going to drop down to match the internal. And that's pretty much where you lose everything. It could be over the span of like 5 years. And so money is energy, right? When there's an imbalance, right, there's a force created. It's called excess potential. This is what it talks about in reality transurfing. Now, when excess potential is created, there is a shift from balancing forces. The forces which keep everything balanced in the world, which keep things operational. Now, when things are imbalanced or out of balance, okay, this is very dangerous. Because, you know, the cycle of life, everything is disrupted, right, within the reality, within space, within time. And so that's why it needs to go back into equilibrium. Okay, and so your internal will never exceed your external. Oh, wait, I think it's the other way around. Your external is never going to exceed your internal. There we go. Okay, let me just get it there. Wait, let me check on the game, bro. Hold on now. It's a fucking ad. Jesus. Now, another point that I want to make is your business is a reflection of your consciousness. It is a reflection of you as a person, okay? Your business is your art piece, right? And your art piece, the art piece always reflects the artist. It's just how it is. And so imagine this business is an entity which you've created, which is fueled by your consciousness. Now, imagine your consciousness or your internal state doesn't match the external output that you desire, right? Let's say you're anxious, you're stressed all the time, Um, you're sleeping around, and you're doing all the things that you shouldn't be doing, things that which don't match the reality of the things that you want. And so you literally end up never obtaining it because those things have to balance, right? We understand from all the things that we've talked about, in order to achieve something, you have to have already had it, right? It needs to already be present within your reality. And so you can't exceed that internal state, right? And so this is why I always say, like, whenever you have a business problem, it always comes down to an internal problem. Like, a lot of the fixes people need or require within their company, it comes down to a self problem, right? It comes down to how you react, how you do things, how your energy is when that problem arises. And depending on that factor, the problem will actually either resolve itself or will be resolved very, very quickly, and you'll find the solution extremely, extremely fast. Usually that's how it's always been. This is like a very crucial thing. Give me one sec. Perfect, just got my cola. But yeah. So for every income goal you desire, you need to die, you need to detach, and you need to embody. Okay? I actually touch on this in a few of these, in like kind of fragments, but I'll touch on it very, very simply and very, very quickly. But for every income goal, for every stage you need to enter, for like every level you need to get to in life, a version of you has to die. Right? This is how it's always been. Like, and this is the thing, you don't chase goals, you chase an identity. Right? It's always been an identity thing. Like, goal setting is complete fluff and bullshit, bro. If you want $1 million, you need to become $1 million person. And so the version of you, the previous version of you, has to literally die and just leave this earth and just stop existing. It needs to like completely detach from the conscious field that you're in right now and that you're present in, and you need to embody, right, the version of you which already has the things you want. And this is what I was talking about with identity. So that version needs to die, okay? You need to detach. The way you detach is through embodiment itself. You become that person. The person who has 100K months, like 10K, he's going to be detached from wealth, right? Or detached from money in a sense. Like, he's not going to be screaming and shouting over a 5K payment, over like 5K pounds going into his bank account. Really is not. It's just not how it is. Because it's going to be normal to him, right? And so you embody this, and that's how you naturally detach. And so when that thing becomes so normal to you, naturally, its meaning starts to just get less and less. It's just how it is for everything in life. Like, for example, this apartment was very, very sick when I first came here, when I first got it. But like now, even though it's still pretty cool, I've kind of like detached from it. It's like the same feelings I had when I first came here is not here. And so the emotions start to die out. And so now I've just slowly started to detach from a lot of these things. And now that I've started to understand that these things don't matter as much, obviously it's very, very cool. I'm very, very grateful. But you need to embody the person who's just present in that reality. And that is how you obtain things like this, or like living in this place. It's night outside. The view is just so much sicker than it actually looks. So I'm getting straight nerfed right now. But yeah. This is like a very, very big rant. It took like 30 minutes. I'm going to just literally post this straight up because fuck it. Why not? Like, who really cares? But yeah, like, these are the things usually in the manifestation space, not really talked about enough in detail, but it's like really the main things that you need to know. And as simple as it sounds, it's like things which are really, really overcomplicated and things that you don't really learn until like a lot of years of just grinding. Like, there's going to be a period in life in your business where you just work so much and you still don't get results. And it's like, you'll be in this state where you're like, what the fuck's going on, bro? Like, why am I doing things? And this is like the craziest thing ever. It's so mind trippy, right? The difference between when I achieved 10K a month and the difference between when I got to 30K a month, I swear to God, it was a difference in mentality. Only. I didn't really change any inputs. Being honest, it was like I got into the identity And I was just putting so much input in and just I was taking so much action. The reason why is because I was trying to let the frequency express itself as much as possible. And this is like one of the key things people don't understand when it comes to the identity shifting or like doing the things. They're like, okay, they do the manifestation work, they do the mindset work, whatever. They get into the state where they have the thing they want, and then they'll just like work for like an hour, 2 hours. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You need to let that frequency express itself as much as possible within space. You need to put so much action in within that state, within that conscious bubble. If you don't take action within the state, nothing is going to manifest or materialize. How are you going to quantum leap into that reality where you have the things you want, right? And so, like, it's just the moral of the story. You need to take so much action even after you do it. Like, the manifestation work is like a solid 40% of the actual work. Like, and that is a substantial amount, really. It really is. That's a substantial amount of things done that like the universe is just sorting out for you in the back end. It's like such an amazing thing. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. It's very raw. It's probably very boring. I did yap a lot, but nonetheless, I actually enjoyed it a lot. So I'll do more like raw, talking head videos or raw authentic videos. I'll do them for business as well, but these are like mainly like the mindset things. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a nice day.